morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to talk about the launch of Scarlet and Violet in the Pokemon TCG, which I know initially might sound a little bit weird, because several of you are going to be looking at this and going, "Wassy?" Yet Scarlet and Violet launched in the TCG a couple of years ago. Scarlet and Violet base set launched in the West on March 31st, 2023, nearly 2 full years ago. And yes, it did. The thing is, over in China, they are getting Scarlet and Violet for the first time. And don't turn off, because things over in China for Scarlet and Violet are getting really, really interesting. There's a bunch of stuff I've told you about recently with how China is approaching the Pokemon TCG, which is weird and a little bit unusual. I told you about the way they're approaching 151 the other day there's various things going on, but I think the headline for that is a bunch of exclusive cards. There's a bunch of exclusive Kato Pikachu artworks, which is bizarre and not the kind of thing we were expecting. And frankly, I'm jealous. And I want this very much indeed. But as it stands at the moment, they're coming out in China. They're not coming out over here. And also, I'm well aware that 151 is actually a Scarlet and Violet set. It was like 2A over in Japan. So, yeah, I know we're all over the place timeline-wise, but again, that kind of happens. Don't worry about it. The point I'm making here is that China's been doing stuff a little bit weird. They had that gem collection, Volume 1. Remember that? That was a weird one, right? It's a completely new style of set that we've never seen before, where you can get a bunch of different Sprigatito, including a Master Ball Sprigatito, but then also Shiny Sprigatito, but then also Illustration Rare Sprigatito, but then also this brand new one, and a new Fuecoco, and a new Quaxley, and a new Captain Pikachu. Things are weird, right? Gem Pack Volume 1 is very, very weird. Same thing that we see with 151 over in China. 151 over in China is bizarre. Well, Scarlet and Violet base is now coming out over in China. And once again, they're doing a bunch of weird things that we just don't expect. Things that we didn't have. Things that I could see. And here's what's really interesting here. Maybe this could end up pushing changes in the West. Pushing changes for us, or even pushing changes in Japan. Because there's things China are doing that if I was in Japan, and I buy a lot of stuff from Japan, I collect Japanese cards, I'm jealous in that regard as well. Now, as always, there are actually 2 different booster packs. There's a 5-card pack and a 20-card pack. This is a standard Chinese thing, which I don't expect to be changed over here. Could be wrong, absolutely, but I wouldn't expect to see anything different going on here. That's very much a Chinese thing, has been since the start. That strikes me as kind of a cultural thing, whereby in their market, having a cheap small pack and a more expensive bigger pack just makes sense for their consumer base. So that's something I wouldn't expect to see changed. But how about the fact that all the cards come with Pokeball Holos? That's something we don't generally expect. How about the fact that the cards all come with Master Ball Holos? Yeah, over in Japan, we're used to this. I showed you in 151 that Japan generally gets Pokeball and Master Ball Holos, like the Porygon. And then we also had that over in China. But again, that makes perfect sense because 151 is a special set over in Japan. And these special sets generally do tend to get Pokeball and Master Ball Holos. So there's nothing there out of the ordinary. There's nothing that's going to make us go, hang on a second, this all makes perfect sense. But regular Scarlet and Violet? No. They don't have Pokeball and Master Ball Holos. They've never had Pokeball and Master Ball Holos. And the fact that they are now over in China, this is weird to me. These kind of special holo cards, they have always been, for a long time at least, they have been a real staple of special sets over in Japan. A sets and all of that. That is fine. But having them appearing in regular sets is weird and bizarre. And maybe it's just for Scarlet and Violet base, but the fact that this is happening for Scarlet and Violet base is honestly genuinely weird to me. Because there's no real reason why this would need to happen. And I kind of love that it has. My opinion with this has always been, if you don't like the Pokeball and Master Ball Holos, just ignore them and pretend they're not real. But if you do like them, it gives you something else cool to collect. So it's either something you ignore or it's a cool extra bonus. Like, either way, I think this is a good thing. But this alone is strange. Having Pokeball and Master Ball Holos in a regular set is bizarre. And then we're going to have a look at a lot of the rest of the set, and there's a lot of what we would expect. We've been shown the Wiglet illustration rare and the Koraidon illustration rare. This is all understandable. We've been shown the special illustration rare of Miriam, but that was in the set. That's all well and good. But then apparently also Giovanni's Charisma. Yeah, that's a card from 151. Why has this card been... And it must have been taken out of 151, because otherwise it would be not in this set. Why have they taken a random supporter card out of 151 so that they can go and put it in this set? That's weird, right? For what it's worth, the regular card of Giovanni's Charisma is also in this set, and then is also available as a Pokeball and a Master Ball Holo. Why? No idea. That seems weird and bizarre to me. So, once again, and this is something China has been doing for a while, to be fair, they've been mixing up the sets a little bit. So, another thing you'll find here is Bravery Charm actually makes an appearance in this set, despite the fact that Bravery Charm for us was actually in Paldea Evolved, which is our Scarlet and Violet 2 set. This doesn't seem as weird to me as taking a card out of 151, but this has been the case with China for a little while. They've not been sticking too closely to our set list. It's been using it as a rough guide, but mixing things up all the while. But then again, in the same token, they've also gone, hey, here's Tinkaton EX, which again should seem a little bit weird to you here, because regular Tinkaton EX wasn't in... well, any set for us, honestly. Regular Tinkaton EX was only available in the EX deck. We had the other prints of it in sets, don't get me wrong. We had some print available. It was in Paldea Evolved, not in Scarlet and Violet base. But we did have the other prints of it. But regular Tinkaton, that was an EX deck exclusive. Now it's just randomly popped into the Chinese set. This, again, is a little bit weird. Honestly, the whole mixing up the set list thing is what they've been doing for a while. Having the 5 and 20 card booster packs is something they've been doing for a while. The really weird thing to me here is having the Pokeball and Master Ball Holos in a regular set. When they confirmed them for 151, I was like, oh, it's just like Japan. They've just decided to go for a different pattern. But then they've also gone and done it in a regular set. That's weird. Something else a little bit weird. In this booster pack, you can get code for a Miraidon suit, shirt, and portrait frame for Pokemon Unite. Yeah, they got a Pokemon Unite crossover with a regular booster pack. That is something else that we are just not used to seeing. We have seen it a little bit in Japan with codes for in-game items on Scarlet and Violet the game, but Unite? And don't get me wrong, like, we've got the Masters crossover happening. There's that Wattrel illustration rare, which is kind of like a Masters crossover. It's a buyer box promo for battle partners. But again, that's something very different, because it's a buyer box promo that just kind of uses artwork and acts as a little bit of an advert for Pokemon Masters. It's not, hey, if you buy these packs, you can get in-game items for Pokemon Unite. That, again, is a little bit weird. Now, they're also mixing things up with a bunch of random products, as they tend to do. Like, for instance, this Pikachu EX and Clefairy EX. Well, they're referring to it on the website as, and I love this, Happy Combo. It's literally Google translated as Pokemon Card Happy Set. And it comes with 4 decks, one of which is built around Pikachu EX, one of which is built around Clefairy EX, one of which is built around Torterra, and one of which is built around Golden Go. And all of those 4 decks are all coming in this lovely product, which, honestly, yeah, I kind of like that. And presumably these cards are being taken out of the main set. And the Pikachu deck's got, like, Flaffy in, and we know that Flaffy is a ridiculous, busted, great card. So they're doing it this way around, making all these cards available. There, seriously, trying to keep up with Chinese releases seems absolutely just very difficult. And then there's a reward pack as well, which may contain basic energy foil cards or Pokemon foil cards. And they haven't actually told us everything that's in there, but it includes some of the shiny cards, which we got in Paldean and Fates, which they're already getting as promos, which is bizarre. But then again, it's a Tinkerton from Paldea Evolve, which is probably in their Scarlet and Violet base, even though it wasn't for us. And it's a little bit all over the place, frankly. And I kind of think this is awesome. So, yeah, things are getting weird, ladies and gentlemen. Things are getting weird. Oh, also, I should say, as well as the box with 4 decks, you can actually go and buy just one of the 4 decks at random. Cool. There we go. Okay. So that's Scarlet and Violet base in China. Things are getting weird. I'm now starting to wonder if when China catches up, whether we might start taking some, well, hints and tips. Some hints and tips from what they're doing, because honestly, things are getting a little bit weird, and I'm kind of into it. For now, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. I want to know if you want to do things like China does. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Stegoraptor, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.